What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, former big league, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, we're keeping this knowledge and this ball rolling. All right, here we are, smack dab in the middle of the week. For some reason, it don't feel like it feels like a Tuesday or something because of, I guess, the Labor Day thing going on. But man, I'm super excited about today. I was talking to my boy here before we came online, and for my listeners, you guys know how I feel about the junior college, the schools, the junior college level, and everything, especially in this day and age, especially what's going on with the virus and the D1 schools not able to, bringing people back here and there. So I'm already been a big advocate for junior colleges, but now even so, in this day and age with the times going on, and this school right here that has come up to me 2, 3 different times. But how big of a powerhouse they are, how great of a program. Obviously, Arizona with good weather and great ball being played out there. So I'm anxious to hear about Central Arizona. All right, and who better to tell me than the head coach, Coach Anthony Gilich here, Central Arizona Junior College head coach. Man, Coach, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here. Excited to be on. That was a pretty good introduction, man. I better live up to it.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we doing things, we doing big things over here, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what up, Jansen, and us, everybody else that's be listening in, because it's not, people see, and again, that's why I want to start bringing these junior college, you guys on, because it's not a sexy name, right? Nobody really understands, Central Arizona. Everybody knows Arizona State or Arizona, but they don't understand Central Arizona. But I'm anxious to hear more about it. But I want to know. I know you're going to have high round picks. You're going to have guys that go to D1 schools. You're going to have guys that are in the major leagues. You know what I'm saying? And then people be like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying, from that point on. So anyway, Coach, if you could, man, before we start talking about Central Arizona, I'd love to talk about the man behind the program. So if you could, man, I want to go back to the beginning, Coach. Let me know where you're from, your playing career, to where you are now as head coach at Central Arizona.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I grew up in the state of Washington, a little south of Seattle, in a small town called Gig Harbor, just a small town. And I grew up there, played baseball up there, played college baseball in Santa Barbara, played there for a couple of years, and got injured. Like I said, didn't rob me of a career or anything like that. It robbed me of my last couple of years of college baseball. But that's what kind of led me into coaching. I always thought I wanted to be a teacher. I like, impacting people and working with young people. And so, but as part of my schooling, I do an internship, got a job coaching at the high school level for 1 year as JV high school baseball, and fell in love with it. And so, I figured, hey, I need to figure out a way to make a living doing this. And so from there, coached at a college in Washington, University of Puget Sound. From there, did some stuff with USA Baseball, and then got the job at Central Arizona. I was an assistant for 7 years, and then I'm going into my 7th year as the head coach.
Good deal, man. 7 years at it, man. Congrats, man. So, to my listeners listening in, I about to let me know where you're listening in from. So, I don't care if you're the regular, but give me the cities and the states where you listen in. So I do a roll call, in about 2-3 minutes to do that roll call. Let me know where y'all listening in from. All right. So 7 years at Central Arizona. So when you came there, was it a powerhouse and all of that? And if you could, explain to my listeners, about Central Arizona, the type of program that you have built, or I want to know, did you build it, or did you just wanted that you kind of took it from this level and kind of, took it to a whole nother level, or what? Tell me a little bit about Central Arkansas, man, when you took it in.
Yeah. So this is my 14th year, 7 as assistant, 7 as the head coach. It's been a great program for a long time. Well before I got here, it's been a good program since like the 70s. I mean, they won their first national championship in 1976.
Oh wow!
And so they've had we've had 21 big leaguers. So we've had a lot of guys all the way back from the 70s, 80s, 90s up until today. And so a lot of good players, and I I know how lucky I am to be the head coach of Central Arizona, so I know the responsibility there. I know all the alumni and the staff here, the administration expect, a certain level of standard here, and it's a great program. I mean, we're a little bit removed from the city. We're kind of right in between Phoenix and Tucson. So for junior college, it's great. I mean, there's not a lot of distractions from school, from baseball, from weights. We can just get to work, and it's not the same as Division I where there's a lot of compliance and a lot of restrictions on practice time. It's junior college, right? So we can just get after it. And so our guys can hit anytime they want. They can get out and take ground balls anytime they want, those kind of things. We're really fortunate. We have 4 coaches on staff full time, which is pretty unique to junior college. Usually, at junior colleges, the coaches have other jobs or have to teach or work at the supermarket or, whatever it is and show up for practice. But we're pretty fortunate. We have all 4 of us are on campus full time. And so, I'm really lucky to have the staff I do. But, the program has been great for a long time. We've won 3 national championships over in 3 different decades. And
wow.
So, the last one being in 2019. So since 2020 got shut down, I guess we still hold the title. I guess someone's got to beat us. Someone's got to knock us off in 21. I guess.
Nice. Congratulations, man. So you junior college national champions, man. How does that feel, man? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you've been a part of this program 14 years. That's awesome, man. So, but ain't nothing like being the head man and winning it. You know what I'm saying? So, how did that feel, man? All the work you put in all the years and to come home with the national championship.
Yeah, it was unreal. I was, like I said, so proud and happy just for the school, the alumni. I mean, it was, it's a lot of people before me put in the work too. And so, it was a cool deal. I was an assistant coach a few years back when we played for a national championship. We were in the national championship game and lost in the bottom of the 10th on a walk-off homer. So,
no way.
Yeah, that one stung pretty good. So that one was kind of dug on me for some years. So I'm glad we finally got over the hump on that one. But yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, in the championship game, we were down 7-0 in the first inning. First inning, I've never been down 7-0 in the first inning of any game in my life. It happened in the national championship game. We're down 7-0, and
wow.
we were in a bad spot for sure. And just kind of chipped away and ended up winning the national championship. It was 13-8 was the final score in Colorado in Grand Junction. It's funny because in our conference, we're a wood bat conference. We're one of the few wood bat conferences in the country, and so we play wood bat
all year round.
Yep, all year round. So our first 56 conference games or our regular season games, and then our first 2 rounds of the playoffs are wood bat. And so all our scores are, 4-2 or 3-1 or 2-0. And then our last 10 games of the year are metal bat, right? Aluminum. And so all our hitters love it. All our pitchers hate it. And, and scores, we got to change our style of play. We, because we have a pretty aggressive style. We like to run and create some stuff on the bases and with the offense. And, when you get those metal bats in your hand, you got to take your foot off the gas a little bit, just let them hit. And so, being down 7-0 you're never in a good spot, but I felt a little more comfortable when that thin air in Colorado and metal bat in our hand, and we found a way to get back in it.
I had no idea of that. So how is it just your area that you guys do the wood bat thing or what? I never heard of that. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think there's 4 conferences in the country that are wood bat. So the Arizona League, there's one in Colorado that's wood bat. There's one in Nevada, Salt Lake, that kind of area. Those 3 are part of the NJCAA. And then there's one outside of the NJCAA, which is in the Northwest, the NWAC, which is kind of a separate thing. But Washington, Oregon has their own, and then they're a wood bat conference as well. So just a few. But when we come to the national tournament, since we're the outlier, right? Most people swing a metal bat. We have to kind of join them. They don't join us, so we have to switch to metal bat. And so it's tricky. It's tricky at first.
Yeah.
Our guys, obviously they think they can hit every ball out all of a sudden.
Right.
wants to lay down a bun anymore. And even for the defenders, it's a little tricky too, because the ball just comes off the bat different, especially the ground balls, like that second hop kind of, eats guys up a little bit more than on a wood bat,
Wow, that's great information. I had no idea. That's and I kind of love that, to be honest with you. I love that, the fact that you get more of a pro feel. You get good. I mean, I know in the 10 games in the playoffs where I know every year you hope to be using the metal bat and those those places and those that time of the year. But I think that's a great why. Let me, before I ask you that question, let me get my shout outs in. Nadine ATL, what's up? Jake, Mississippi, was good? Delmar, what's up? Mr. Porches, New York, was good? Chris, what's going on? Tennessee in the house. Vince, was good? Rodney, what's going on? Dallas, Texas in the house. Jansen, what's up? Michigan in the house. What's up? All right, Mike, what's going on? NYC. All right, Keenan, what's up? Arkansas in the building. And Brenton, was good? Clay, what's going on? Nashville in the house. And let's go. Rob, what's up? Memphis in the house. All right. Bubba, Montgomery, Alabama in the house. What's up, DJ? What's going on? North Mississippi in the house. All right. He says that's awesome. Wood bats, no doubt. Tony Miranda, what up, Tony Tone? All right. Cerritos, JC, he was on with me last week. So yeah. All right. And Mike, what's going on? Callie in the house. B Rob, Callie in the house. What's good? All right. He's well represented today. Thank y'all for listening in. So again, man, with this wood bat, I love it. I think that's like that's such a. I never knew that. This is so it's news to me. So when you is it something when you go into recruiting, when you recruit guys, is that something that you got to take into account, right? You're a wood bat league, so these big swing guys that has got a metal bat swing. Or do you take them and just say, hey, I'm gonna train them up and put a wood bat in the hand and see, like, how do you deal with that when it comes to the recruiting side with bats?
It's nice because most leagues now in the summer and in the fall are wood bat, right? And so you get to evaluate them on a wood bat and see kind of what they can do and who can handle a wood bat, who has the strength and that kind of stuff. But we're wood bat conference, but we also have a huge yard, and so we have a huge field, 340 down the lines, 412 to center with a wood bat. So we got to find guys that can hit. Those guys that just kind of launch it up there. Those are outs in our field, and so we got to find some guys that can backspin some balls and those kind of things. And then when we go on the road and play some other teams, those balls might get out. And at the end of our years, they might start getting out too. And so, for example, we had a kid that played 60 games for us, had 0 home runs. And then in the last 10, when we got a metal bat, he had 6 in the last 10 games. So, so like I said, you can start back spinning some balls and those kind of things. But it's nice. We like it. It's a big sell for us. We're right in the hub of scouting, right? Of Major League Baseball. Spring training is right here. A lot of the scouts, GMs, cross-checkers, they all live right here in Arizona, close to the spring training sites. And so they want to see the guys swing a wood bat, and they don't have to dream on what it would look like when they're swinging a wood bat. Hey, they hit 12 homers with a metal, but what would it be with wood? We got it. We're swinging wood. They can see their swings and those kind of things, and so it's just, I don't know. For me, I'm a little biased. Obviously, we're in a wood bat conference, but I just think it's a little more true baseball, and you got to earn your hit, and it opens up, especially in the college side. It opens up like I said, just running the bases is really valuable, and handling the bat. And just team offense is valuable and those kind of things, which in turn forces you to have team defense and handle the ball and those kind of things, because you can't always just slug your way back in. If you make a mistake and give up a base or a run, it's tough to get one. It's tough to get a run. So, I like it. I like it better. I like the wood bat better. But when we're swinging metal, that means we're deep in the playoffs. So I like swinging metal at the end of the year too.
That's what I'm saying. So how does that work? So do you only play conference games during the year? So if somebody out of conference comes to you guys, they got to use wood, or vice versa? How does that work? Or you only play in conference games?
Yeah, so we're allowed to play 56 games in the spring, and so 38 of them are conference. So those are obviously all wood bat games. And then it just depends. The majority of the other 18 non-conference games are typically wood bat too. It depends. If it just depends whoever the home team is. So if anyone travels to Arizona, which a lot of teams do just because of the weather, if we're the home team, then we swing wood bat. If we travel, let's say to Texas or something like that, we're playing a team there, then we'll swing metal because they're the home team. And so, yeah, we're fortunate because of the weather that a lot of cold weather state teams from the Northwest or Colorado or the Midwest, they come to Arizona for trips for spring break and those kind of things. So they usually swing wood bat when they get here.
That's awesome, man. I learn something every day. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Gary was good. Memphis in the house. All right. Delmar, AZ. Sorry about that. I gotta remember. All right. Andre, Fort Collins, Colorado. All right. Stevie Chi-Town in the house. Joe, what's up? ATL in the house. All right. Stevie Johnson, what's up? Maryland in the house. All right. Jay Meyer was good. Wisconsin in the house. All right. Chipper, what's up? Nashville in the house. Coach Eaton, what's going on? All right. Florida in the house. All right.
Let's get some Washington. Can we get Washington on board or what?
I usually have 1 or 2 Washington guys over here, man. They usually come on. Because I'll be surprised. I'll be like, damn, you listening well, So we usually got one. When he comes on his name, I remember, man. Justin, what's up, Tennessee in the house. So yeah, man, it's so speaking of recruiting, all right, you guys are a national power, all right? National champions, 2019 national champions. When it comes to recruiting, you got Cali and Arizona right there, great baseball states. I'll just say Arizona, right? Do you guys go out of state? Like, the guys coming in from all over to come, man,
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate because, again, just because of the weather and because of spring training, so all the spring training sites get used for tournaments all year round. And so teams from out of state come to Arizona pretty much every weekend. So there's all throughout the fall, all throughout the summer, there's games going on at all the spring training sites year round. And so, we get a lot of out-of-state guys. We're heavy in Arizona and California, but we have 2 guys from Australia on our team. We have some guys from, like I said, the Midwest. We have kids from Arkansas this year. We've had kids from, Chicago area and so on. And so, and a lot of times, we go out and recruit out of state, but a lot of times they come to us, or not to us, but like come to Arizona. And so, we're able to see those guys and go watch a tournament. And, there's, 50 teams in the tournament from all over. And so, we can bring them down to campus, show them campus, introduce ourselves, watch them play, and then see if it's a good fit. And so we really try to do our homework in the recruiting. It's as you know, there's a lot of good players out there. It's that's the easy part, is finding the good players. Finding the right player is a little bit trickier, just because every program does it a little bit different. We're going to do it different than some other programs in our league and some other programs around the country. And so it doesn't make it right or wrong, but it's just some of the things we believe in and whatnot. And so we really try to get to know the players, and then we try to cross-check ourselves a little bit with, maybe I go see a guy, and then, Coach Perez will go see a guy, and Coach Ahern will go see a guy, and so on. And so, we get a couple sets of eyes on them and try to make some decisions from there to make sure that we don't, I'm not a big believer in like bringing in 65 guys in the fall and then hoping that 30 make the team. It's like, I'd rather bring in 35 guys and then 30 make the team, and so, because we're big on development. So, if we have 65 guys, we're going to be spread so thin that they're not going to get the development that they deserve. And so, we try to keep our numbers small so we can really work with the guys and spend some time with them and help them out. And so, like I said, that's one way that we get after a little bit, but we spend a lot of time recruiting, as do most college coaches. It seems like we're out there a lot.
All right. We got some questions coming in, Coach. DJ asks, do you recruit much from the Mid-South area? And how does he like lefties?
Love lefties. All the coaches in my league, they always joke with me. They say, man, all you recruit is lefties, left-handed arms and left-handed hitters. I love those guys. And so, I think on this year's team, I think we have of our it's a little out of whack a little bit this year. We have of our 19 hitters in the fall, I think we have 13 of them are left-handed hitters or switch hitters. And so, which is kind of or usually it's the other way around, and so but for whatever reason, we had a lot of lefties this year. And yeah, we get guys from the South, we've got guys from Florida before. We've had guys from, obviously the farther away from Arizona, the harder it is to see them because they have to come to us. We'll go out to those ways sometimes, but yeah, like I said, we want good players. We want the right players. And so, yeah, we've got guys from, like I said, Michigan and Mexico and Australia and all over. And so, Dominican and New York. And so we have a guy from Virginia on this current team. We have a kid from New York on this current team. So guys all over.
Good deal, man. I like that. All right. Brenton says, do you recommend that kids take a lot of BP with wood and then play with metal?
Yeah, I think a wood bat is a great training tool. So if you're in a metal bat league or high school, most high schools swing a metal bat. Yeah, I mean I think wood is a great training tool. I mean it's harder to hit with the wood. That's just the truth. And so if you can hit BP and train as much as you can with wood. And then I wouldn't only train with wood though. I mean, if you're swinging metal in a game, always you need to get the feel of that too before you just go in there and start hitting. But I mean, if you can say you have games on the weekend, maybe you're hitting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with a wood bat, and Thursday you kind of get touched back up with your metal bat, and then go to work on the weekend and however it works. But yeah, I mean it's a great training tool for sure. I'm a big believer in wood bat. For sure. I think it's just, it's just harder to hit, smaller sweet spot. You don't get the cheap ones off the handle or off the end. And, so it's, like I said, when we go to the metal bat round, it's, our hitters love it and our pitchers hate it. Our pitchers are always coming in saying, man, that's not a hit, and kind of thing. But, I think it's a great training tool. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, training with wood for sure.
Now, I know you guys, when you guys are reading stats and from other leagues and stuff, and these guys just putting up, just crazy circus numbers and stuff, and you guys are hitting all right, but do you guys be like, what I'm saying, discount those guys a little bit because knowing that those guys are using metal, right?
Yeah, well, our offensive numbers are never as good as anyone else in the country. I mean, I don't think we've had an All-American hitter in 10 years, and I'm like, man, we have some guys that can hit, but their numbers just don't match up, and so, it's all right. I mean, even, in Grand Junction this past year, they do, if you've never been there, it's a must. It's an unbelievable experience. They do a heck of a job of just putting on, it's been there for 60 years, I think. And I mean, it's unbelievable. And so whole town shows up, but they have a bunch of media coverage and, they make you feel like a celebrity for a week. And,
nice.
It's a pretty cool deal, that was the big question mark on our team. They're like, oh man, well, coach, you're only hitting, 298 as a team, and I was like, well, that's all right. We're hitting 298 as a team. I was like, we got some guys that can hit. And other teams are hitting 370 or something, and I was like, well, I'm like, and so that's always something you always have to kind of discuss with people and talk about just because the numbers are a little inflated. Now on the other side, our pitching numbers might be a little bit better than everyone else's because they're pitching against wood bat. And so, our pitching numbers are usually pretty good. We might come into the national tournament with a 2-3 team ERA or something, And so, so I mean, so that kind of goes both ways, but yeah, I mean, it all plays out kind of in the end.
All right. Gavin says, what's the one thing that's attractive for most of the guys being recruited by JUCO?
Is that the guys we're recruiting or the guys that are getting recruited from our place to the next spot?
I just think maybe he's coming from a high school kid. What makes a high school kid, be attracted to a JUCO?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to junior college for sure. I mean, one, playing time. It's a little bit easier to get on the field just because you're not competing against guys that are 21, 22 years old, and you're competing against guys your own age. In our conference, it's a wood bat, which is a big sell for a lot of people. For the top end players, the draft is a big sale. So they might be good enough to go to a Power 5 school, Arizona State, or wherever those big time programs, but they don't want to wait 3 years, and so they want the opportunity that if they kill it their freshman year, they can get drafted and go, or their sophomore year, they can draft and go, or their junior year, sure, then they can go to ASU or wherever. And so we get a lot of those type of guys as well. Obviously, the cost is a lot cheaper than going to a 4-year. The academics ease you into it a little bit more. I don't want to say easier because you're kind of taking the same classes, but the class sizes are smaller and those things. And so it just kind of eases you into it a little bit. And so I think there's a lot of benefits for that. And then also, I mean, very few guys get recruited to their dream school straight out of high school. I mean, there's some guys that get to go there. Some other guys, we always encourage them, hey, don't settle for something that's not your dream school. Give yourself a year or two to develop and mature and grow and train. And then maybe in 2 years after your sophomore year at Central, maybe you are getting recruited to, whatever your dream school is. And maybe you're good enough at that point, and give yourself some time. And so we do that a lot. And then, junior college is a little bit different animal. It's not as, to use your words on the early one, it's not as sexy, right? You got to explain Central Arizona. I don't need to explain Arizona State, right? And so, when kids tweet it out, it might be cooler to say, hey, I'm going to, Arizona State or wherever it is. I mean, you got to, it's your family, maybe the baseball community might know what Central Arizona is, but your friends and family might not. And so you got to explain it a little bit. And, we don't have our logo on the plates in the weight room, and we don't got, some of that stuff. But I mean, really, that stuff doesn't matter. We have everything we need. We have a great gym. We have a great facility. We have some of the new age data driven stuff, which is really popular now. And so we have some of that stuff. But again, just the pure facilities or just the amenities. I mean, it's not going to be some of those Division I's and no junior colleges. But I mean, that's kind of like, junior college kind of has this like grinder mentality, and they just blue collar, go to work, and you're driving vans to games and all that kind of stuff. And just usually they come out the other end just tough dudes. They're just tough dudes. And so I identify with that. I like that. I played junior college. I like guys that have a little chip on their shoulder or something to prove. I mean, everybody at junior college is here for a reason. Either they got passed over or didn't get drafted where they wanted to, or thought they should go in Division I, or somebody told them they weren't good enough. So I try to fuel that to the guys. I like that, and so it's a little chip on their shoulder.
I like that, man. No doubt about it. I don't know, man. I look at it like, I guess if I had a kid, I guess it would be the draft would be my chip on the shoulder, because I don't think I'll have an issue, because I'd be like, yo, you're gonna go to junior college. Like, I don't even think it'll be like this big debate and I know it looks sexy again. I know, and I'm talking for myself outside looking in, because when I was 17, 18, D Brown, junior college wasn't even across my my radar. But nowadays, like, again, I wouldn't even be ashamed. I'd be like, yo, you ain't going to so-and-so Arizona State right now. Let's go over to Central Arizona, ball out over there. Let's see if we could get in this draft, and then worst case scenario, we take our butts up the street to Arizona State. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Well, I think even in this day and age too. I mean, last year was only a 5-round draft. This next year it's going to be a limited draft again. So, in my opinion, you want to give yourself the most opportunity to get in the draft as you can, as many opportunities. So instead of limiting yourself to just one your junior year, when you better kill it your junior year, because if you sign your senior year, you're not going to make any money, right? And so your junior year, you better hit it big, or you can go to junior college and have the opportunity for freshman, your sophomore, and your junior year. And so, if that's your dream to play professional baseball, you just upped your chances by 3 times. And so, it just makes a lot of sense to me. And like I said, junior college baseball is really good. Not just, we're proud of our program, but there are so many good junior colleges around the country, and these guys are getting drafted as high draft picks, going to big time Division I programs. And the thing about junior college too is most guys that get recruited from junior college to the next place go and play. Most of the guys from high school that go to the Division I, the coaches view it as like, hey, we have some time to develop this guy. And we have some years to get him going. At junior college guy, they're filling needs, right? Like, man, we need a shortstop bad. Let's go get, a shortstop from a junior college so he can play right away while we're letting the other guy develop. And so, usually they have, maybe, 300 to 400 at bats under their belt, and and or more, depending if you make a deep run in the playoffs and stuff like that. So 2 years of junior college, and in our conference with a wood bat, and now you're going to a metal bat conference. Our hitters usually do pretty well at the next spot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything you explained, and I think it took me to interview coaches to understand the benefit. I'm like, wow, yeah, I see now. You know what I mean? Like, and then everybody that that would come on my show, pro guys that are coaches now, or coaches who at D1 programs, they all either they played or coach started at a junior college level, and I was like that. Everybody that comes on here, I promise you, 9 out of 10 guests, you included, you know what I'm saying? You played and coached at a junior college, but everybody started or played at a junior college. I'm like, damn, guys over my teammates who I had no idea played at junior college, And
well, you look at it like, in your situation, you were a first rounder, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say that particular year out of high school, you didn't get drafted in the first round, right? You got drafted in the fourth round, right? And you're upset about that. And you're like, man, I'm a first rounder, and then you're like, and then you have these options like, well, do I go and have to wait 3 years and stay injury free and all those kind of things? Or do I just go to junior college, go kill it, and then I'll be back in the draft and be a first rounder the following year, And so that happens a lot to those kind of guys, whether they're, like in your example, first to fourth rounder, but even guys that are like, hey, I think I'm a top 10 round pick, and maybe I got drafted in the 16th round, and that's like, hey, I'm just not quite, getting the same bonus that I want. I'm going to wait and try to get in the top 10 rounds the following year. So to each their own a little bit, but I mean, that's the thought process that a lot of guys go through, and so they have to make a decision. Man, do I go to this big 4-year school? Maybe I have to bide my time, have to stay injury free, have to kill it my junior year. Now, granted, I'm playing in a big time conference, or do I go to junior college where I feel pretty good about getting on the field? I can get drafted every year. It's going to be cheaper, all those kind of swinging a wood bat, like all those kind of things where it's like, man, maybe this is the right move for me.
And I love the way you put it. And parents, I'm gonna get those questions out there to you. But we were just talking baseball over here. But I never really thought about it, but I haven't thought about it just the way you just said it from a junior college level. I just said, hey, you go one, each year you get a chance to get drafted, and then hey, if it don't work out, then you take your D1. But you put it even better. You know what I'm saying? You basically you get 3 chances. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 years of junior college if it doesn't work out, and then you got the 1 year at a 4-year school. And for the parents listening in, what he said is, many people may know this, but some may not. When you are going to a 4-year school, and that's why playing time is so key. He's basically saying your junior year is everything. That's your money year. You can have a great freshman year, you can have an injury-filled sophomore year. You better kill it your junior year. You know what I'm saying? And why? Because that's your leverage. Because you got 1 more year left, and that's the year you get paid. If you don't have that great junior year, you come back as a senior, you can be all world, but they're gonna give you peanuts. You get no money coming out the draft. So that's why he's saying basically, if you have dreams and aspirations of going pro, all right, which most kids do, in a junior college route, that's what I said. Like, it's nothing to lose, especially at a great program like Central Arizona. You got 1 year to knock it out. You don't do it. Okay, you come back that second year, you knock it out because you're playing. And then if it doesn't work out, then you go to the 4-year school and ball out for 1 year, and hopefully you get the numbers that you want and you get drafted. So, to me, and you just put it good, Coach. I didn't even think about the 3 years in a row. I didn't even look at it. I just looked at it like, hey, you go to a 4-year school and try to, and you get to the dream school then. But you're saying, hey, you're saying it right. You get drafted 3 years in a row. You got great opportunity to get drafted.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot of our guys that we recruit. They'll say, their dream is to play, professional baseball, which is most of the guys' dreams. And so, our response is, well, why don't you give yourself as many chances as possible to do that? If that's your dream, you're giving yourself 3 times the chance, 3 times the opportunity to chase down your dream. It makes sense to me. If I want to be, some employee, or I want to be this or that, if I can give myself a better chance at that times 3, man, I'm gonna do it. If that's my dream. And so, so I mean, like I said, it takes a little bit of explaining, because again, you got to explain Central Arizona, you got to explain junior college a little bit. But if you're allowed to have those conversations, you get the opportunity to talk to the parents and the kids a little bit. Usually, you can kind of open up their mind and open up their eyes to the idea at least.
All right, good conversation. D Rob says, Coach, having to be a wood bat school, doesn't it get quite expensive being in the Major League Baseball's backyard? Do y'all get many players drafted each year too?
Yeah. So the first part, yeah, I mean, just whenever we break bats, we always just say, hey, man, start using the barrel, right? Man, you don't break the bat when you hit on the barrel, you know? And so now it gets a little expensive sometimes. You know, I mean, obviously they're cheaper than an aluminum bat. We have some connections with some of the bat companies and stuff. There's a owner of a bat company who's an alumni of ours. Zinger Bats is an alumni. If you're familiar with Zinger Bats, a great bat, and he's actually an alumni of Central Arizona. So he helps us out a little bit. And then as far as being in Major League Baseball's backyard, yeah, I'm not sure of the exact number. I know a couple of years ago this was true. I'm not sure if it's still true, but we're at least in the top couple. I mean, 10 years ago, or the last 10 years, we're like in the top 5 of any school in the country of drafted players. And so, you know, we usually have anywhere from, you know, 5 to 6 guys drafted off every team. And for junior college, it's pretty good, you know, and then we have a lot of guys that will get drafted at the next spot. So maybe they don't get drafted out of here, or they do and turn it down and go to a 4-year school, and then they'll get drafted out of there. So yeah, so we get a lot of guys drafted. Like I said, it's a big market. And again, we're right in between, we're about, you know, 30 miles probably from Phoenix. And so that's where they all live. Every major league team is represented in the 4 corners. And so, and then plus the big decision makers, right? The GMs, the cross checkers, they live here too. And so, and we're on this like recruiting super highway between Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona State and University of Arizona. So as scouts are going back and forth, we're the only school that they just stop at our school and then keep going back and forth. And so we're lucky, you know, we're lucky where we're located. We're lucky that, you know, it's had some success in the past. And like I said, just where we're located, it's kind of this like recruiting, scouting, super highway, you know? And so it's good. So yeah, we've been fortunate to have some pretty good draft picks.
Yeah, I mean, we talked behind the scenes, and I mean, I would like to think, from a professional baseball standpoint, I mean, I would like to say Phoenix, Arizona area was probably number 1, maybe Florida, a couple of cities in Florida, and a little bit of maybe Atlanta. But Atlanta has all sports, but baseball wise, I would like to think Phoenix is probably number 1 as far as most front office, and definitely most baseball players, you know, buy homes out there. So
yeah, the weather's great too. I mean, it's just the weather. I mean, you don't get rained out. You get to play. You get reps. I mean, it's a good area for sure.
All right.
It's better than Washington. I mean, that's where I'm from. And man, you get used to throwing heavy baseballs and gloomy. I'd rather just go outside and start taking some ground balls. You know?
I love the Seattle. Everybody gets that bad gloomy feel, and you know, Portland. I get it a lot more in Portland. Like, you know, every time I used to go, it was always gloomy. But Seattle, everybody talking about rain. It was as many times playing against the Mariners or in the minor leagues. I played in Spokane, you know, traveling and stuff. Like, the weather was like, it's always nice, you know, and every now and then get a little colder here and there, but at as many 20, 30 times I haven't been out that way. And I've never, it was always halfway decent. Like, it's not, you know, now Portland, again, is right down south a little bit. That was hit or miss. That was the gloominess over in that area. But Seattle, man, beautiful country out there. But all right. Josh asks, what is the identity of your team this year? Like, what do you all do best?
Yeah, I think the identity of our team for most years is that we like to have. I mean, we buy into that junior college blue collar feel, so we like to have tough kids, and for sure, it's not easy. So we certainly like to have tough kids. But as far as baseball goes, we're a high pressure team. We like to run. We like to add pressure. We kind of force the other teams to be well coached because we're going to put a lot of heat on the other team. You know, and throw some different things at them and those kind of things. And so we like those kind of things. We recruit those kind of guys, those athletes and whatnot. You know, and so those are some of the things we do well. We try to simplify the game as best as we can. into obviously pitching, hitting, and defense. And our philosophy is throw strikes, move runners, make plays. And we just try to simplify it as much as that. Our pitchers are attacking the zone, and our pitchers like to have some bravado, and we don't try to Mickey Mouse around, so to speak, man. We're coming right at you. You got a wood bat in your hands, like here it is, man. Like good luck. Our guys are just throwing it right in there, and so with their best stuff. And on offense, we like to move runners. So however we can do that, we like to have multiple layers to our game. So if I in the third base box cannot put on a sign all game and we can bang out 15 hits, like I'm okay with that. But there's going to be some games where, man, somebody's just sticking it to us, and we got a good arm that we're facing, and we might need to sack bunt, or we might need to hit and run, or we might need to have excellent ball and dirt reads or steal a base to try to win that game 2-1. And so we try to have some different layers. So that's why we just say move runners. And so, and then as far as making plays, like I said, just on defense, we kind of have the opposite. We kind of have a conservative approach. Like you said, if an out presents itself, take it. And so you don't always have to throw to the lead base, all those kind of things, man. We get it, get the out, get the ball in our glove. We'll put a high precedent on just handling the ball. Like at practice, the guys, they always laugh because, I probably say handle the ball like 100 times at practice every day. Just handle the ball. So, so those are some things that, we believe in our program, and we like to do, and it helped us win a few games.
All right. Jason says, do you have on-campus housing?
Yeah, we do. We're one of, it's kind of unique to a junior college. Not a lot of junior colleges have dorms. But yeah, we have dorms, a cafeteria. So it's nice. So especially for those guys that, the Arizona guys too, but especially the guys that are coming out of state, that they get a little security, right? It's not like they're just moving into a new town, have to get an apartment. They're 18. These guys can move into the dorms, have a meal plan. They can walk to, they don't even have to have a car. They can walk to practice, walk to the weight room, walk to their classes field, all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of nice. We always try to match up an Arizona player with an out-of-state player, just so, the Arizona guy can kind of show him the ropes, or if he goes home for the weekend or something, he takes him with him and those kind of things. So, but yeah, we're lucky. Like I said, we're a little bit removed from the city, so there's not a lot of distractions. But in turn, like we have a pretty tight-knit group because of that. Because, like I said, there's not a whole lot else going on, so our guys hang out a lot and go work out a lot and those kind of things.
All right. Josh says, so are wood-bat JUCOs looked at differently, good or bad, from, say, Chipola or San Jack, by pro scouts or Power 5 schools?
Yeah, like those two programs you just mentioned, they're great programs. Those are some of the powerhouses in junior college as well. And so, like I said, just the numbers are skewed a little bit both ways. Like I said, our pitching numbers are probably, over the course of the season, they're a little better than theirs, but their hitting numbers are better than ours just because of the metal and the wood bat different. But like I said, from a hitting standpoint, it's I think from a scouting standpoint, it's nice to see a guy hit with wood for sure, because you don't have to dream on what they can do. And then pitching wise, the numbers are important, but this day and age, the data is so driven that it doesn't matter if a guy's swinging a wood bat or a metal bat. They want to see the spin rates, and they want to see, some TrackMan or Rapsodo and those kind of things. And so, a lot of the scouts can scout off of those numbers, not necessarily their stats. Whereas the hitters, it's not quite as easy to do that. You want to see some stats, right? You want to see how are his power numbers? Wow, he's hitting a lot of doubles and home runs with a wood bat, and that might translate, and so on. And so, so it looks at it a little differently. I know they get a lot of guys scouted and recruited and drafted as well, and so they're certainly doing something right. Both those two programs are great.
Yeah, I've been in contact with San Jack coach, trying to reel him in, try to get him on. Danny says, we have another big arm coming up here in Pueblo, Colorado, 2023. RJ Dabovich from Pueblo pitched at your school.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, we had a kid named RJ Dabovich. He pitched for us in 2018. was a pitch for us his freshman year, then went to Arizona State his sophomore and junior year, and then just got drafted this past draft. I believe it was in the 4th round. He was there. He was a starter for us. He started for them his sophomore year, and then his junior year they made him into the closer. And I think he was touching 100, this year, and so I mean he can really he's really got some he's got a good arm. So yeah, if there's another good guy out of Pueblo, Colorado, I'm in. You don't got to talk me into it. Let's get another Archie Davidovich out there. I'm in.
Right. You have good experience on that area, huh? Man, so let me ask this, Coach Eaton. I see you working, Coach Eaton. Which is better, JUCO or post grad? Coach Eaton asked.
I mean, that's a loaded question. I'm biased. I think JUCO is better, right? So, but they're both good. I mean, there's some great post grad programs and whatnot. Junior college is nice just because it's you get to play for that national tournament and it's just affiliated and it's just I don't know. I'm a big believer in junior college baseball. Even before I played it, I've always seen this. Always seemed I like the style of play, good players, and so like I said, I played there, I coached there. I'm a big advocate. So that was kind of a loaded question. So JUCO, I'm in on JUCO.
Let me. You said JUCO, right? So let me go on a limb and let me. What do you think, Coach Eaton? What do you think he coaches at?
Post grad.
Okay. Right. So that's what I said. I see you working, Coach. I get it. So Jay Meyer says about how many of your guys are from out of state. I know we talked about it, but let me get all these questions asked.
Yeah, I would say maybe 60% in-state, 40% out-of-state, somewhere in there, maybe 50-50. Like I said, obviously Arizona is probably the most with the in-state, but then the surrounding areas, California and such, but Hawaii even. We have some luck in Hawaii and whatnot, but we really have some luck. The guys, we got the caller from West Pueblo, and the guys from the cold weather states seem to do really well here because it's the first time in their life where they're taking ground balls year round or hitting year round or throwing long toss year round, and so guys from like Colorado or Washington or Canada or some of those states where like maybe they've been a multi-sport athlete and they're throwing in a gym or hitting in a gym until late March or whatnot. It's just here. Our first game is January 22nd. And it's gonna be 70 degrees, and it's gonna be pretty nice, and so we're pretty fortunate, and so. We actually started a game. I think it was a while back now, but we played the opener. January 22nd was the first day we were allowed to play. So we played Phoenix College on January 21st at midnight. So our first game of the year was at and the weather was okay enough to play a midnight game. So we wanted to be the first game in the country to play. And our kind of a rally cry that year was like, hey, let's be the first team to win a game and the last team to win a game in the country. And that year we were on the losing end of both. We lost the opener. We lost the opener in extra innings in the midnight game. And that was the year you lost. Oh wow! So that backfired on that year.
Wow. Yes, that's crazy. Well, at least you got there though. Huh? So, but all right, Mike, glad he could explain it. I think somebody answered this for him, but I'll let Coach ask this. Answer this. So why only 1 year after JC to 4 year?
Yeah, that question is probably referring to RJ, who played here for 1 year and then left. I'm guessing. So not to go too deep into it, but if you are what's called a qualifier out of high school. Which means basically you were academically eligible to go to a 4-year, but chose to come to a junior college instead. You have the ability to leave after 1 year if you choose to. If you're not a qualifier because you didn't have the grades to get into a 4-year school, then you have to graduate from the junior college before you can move on. So you have to stay the 2 years. And so that's kind of the difference. So RJ chose to come to Central Arizona. He had the grades to go to a 4-year, was kind of waiting on a school, a big time program such as Arizona State, didn't get that opportunity out of high school, came here. After 1 year, he got it. He was actually drafted after his freshman year from our place, turned it down, went to Arizona State instead, and then it worked out for him. Like I say, he turned himself into a 4th rounder and got a bright future ahead of him. So he had that opportunity because he was a qualifier out of high school. If he wouldn't have been, then he would have had to have got his AA degree, his 2-year degree from junior college.
All right, that's good information. Let me see. It says, what about that 121 degrees? I was like, yeah, that. But you pretty much you missed that. You kind of get it probably towards the tail end of the season, right? But in the beginning part, you playing the nicest time in Arizona.
Yeah. The first month we're here, from like when the guys move into the dorms in like mid-August to like mid-September. I mean, no doubt it's brutal. I mean, it's hot. It's going to be 110 most days. That we're out there. So the out-of-state guys are dying, right? They are dying, and so. But then after that, once like late September hits, right about where we're getting now, from like about mid-September all the way through mid-May, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And our season ends in Memorial Day weekend in Grand Junction. And then all the guys go off to summer ball. So like when it starts getting hot again in June and July and August, the guys aren't here anyways. They're off playing summer baseball. And so the guys, like I said, and now it doesn't help us in recruiting. Guys are coming here and we have to still go out and recruit those tournaments at 120 degrees. But as far as our team, we're not here in the summertime.
All right. Speaking of this summer, let's DJ asks, what does coach do for his players during the summer and fall and the aspect of playing? Summer and fall leagues, especially with the great weather all year round.
Yeah, so we place all our players into summer programs, especially all our position players. So because you can never get enough at bats, you can never get enough ground balls and just game reps and those kind of things. So all of those guys play just to get the speed of the game and to be honest, to get coached by other people. I mean, we coach them year round, but they might hear something their summer coach says them that resonates, and they bring back to our program, and we love it. Our egos aren't too big to know that they can learn in multiple ways, and so our pitchers sometimes we hold back. It depends on how many innings they threw during the spring. So if they threw a ton of innings for us, then we might hold them back from summer ball and just have them train and those kind of things. But if they didn't throw too much, or those kind of things, could use some reps, and we'll send them out to summer ball as well. But yeah, we have a big hand in helping them find summer baseball programs all over the country. And there's good programs all over the country.
All right. Mike says, where is your best competition? Do you play 4-year schools?
We play all the junior colleges. I mean, in the fall, we have a little more flexibility. I mean, I'd be happy to play all 4-year schools in the fall. They have to, be willing to play us. And we there's only 3 Division I schools here in Arizona. There's Arizona State, and Grand Canyon University. All have great programs. Whereas like in Texas, there's so many programs that you can play, in California and those kind of things. But in years past, we played Arizona State a couple years back. Cool experience, great experience for our guys. I mean, they have great facilities. We got to play those guys. We did pretty well, and so that was a fun experience. And we played Team USA this past fall. They're about to go qualify for the Olympics down in Mexico, and so they played Arizona State, Arizona, and Central Arizona us to get prepared. And so we're talking. Joe Adele was on the team, and all the big time players, and that was a cool experience. When minor league baseball is running, we get to play some of the minor league teams. Instructs, we play a lot of the instructs in the fall, so it's good. I mean, we're playing guys like Joey Gallo, and then 3 years later he's a big star in the big leagues, or 2 years later, and so it's a cool experience. I mean, we hang a breaking ball, it just gets crushed. Like you can't get away with some of the mistakes you normally make. And so our guys are playing. It's great because our guys are playing with their hair on fire and like it's game 7 and the guys at Instructs, they're ready to get out of there. They're ready to go home, but it's cool to play those guys. And so we're fortunate just because of our location, get to play some Instructs, some spring training teams, Team USA this last year, and then we played Arizona State a few years back, and then like I said, did pretty well.
Yeah, I'm about to say, as far as out of conference, as far as just picking up games, your pickup games ain't against no slouches. You know what I'm saying? You playing some pro teams. You know what I'm saying? Any given day, you can call up, especially in the fall. I know those guys love to get some games in, and it got to benefit you guys. Do you use it as a recruiting tool, or is it just something that you just again, that's just extra exposure for those kids, right? Get to play in front of pro guys, in the fall.
We use it in recruiting for sure. Who wouldn't want to play opposite of Joey Gallo or Adele and all those guys? Those are some really good players, and so yes, we use that as a recruiting tool for sure. And then we just use it as a platform for our guys to say, hey, look, man, these guys, a lot of those guys were in your same shoes 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and look, they're sitting in the other dugout where you want to be now. And just kind of, we kind of have our guys watch and see how they operate and those kind of things, and then from there. But once the game starts, it's on, right? So we're not going to be in awe once the game starts. It's on now. Hey, we're going to bring our best, and hopefully they bring their best, and let's see how we match up, and see the areas we need to work on and those. But we're certainly not going to play scared, but we definitely respect those guys. They're pretty good. They're pretty big. They don't miss a lot of pitches. So it's fun to play those guys. Love it.
All right. Javier asked, have you started recruiting 2021s?
Yeah, we have a couple recruits and a couple commits in 2021, and like I said, we're on some other guys. So we're pretty open in that. It's a little tricky this year, only because we don't know exactly how many guys. Usually every year, how many guys are going to be returning or not. This year, you're a little unsure because everybody got their year back. So maybe this is their second year with us, but they could really come back a third year if they wanted to because they got their year back. So it's a little tricky this year to kind of predict how many spots we're going to have available. But we're trying to hunt down good players everywhere. So we're going to be out recruiting. All our coaches have this weekend. There's a couple tournaments here in Arizona, and we're on the phone a lot. And so we're actively recruiting 2021s for sure. All my information for any parents or coaches out there, all my information is online at www.vaquerosports.com. If you go find the baseball and my email and my office phone, but email would probably be best during this time. Send me an email. I'll be glad to walk you through any information or anything.
All right. I love it, Coach. Is it okay if I put the EDU copy and paste it on the link here?
Yeah.
Your email?
My email?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, cool. I'll here is Coach's so if you have videos and you want to know more about Central Arizona, here you go. Let me see here. Let me get it. I'm going to post it up there and leave it up there for a minute while we get some more questions. All right. What up, Sadiq? What's going on? ATL in the house. Cynthia, Louisiana in the house. All right. Couple people sneaking in here on me. All right. AD, what's going on, family? Thanks, bro. All right. So here's Coach's email. All right, Vidal, what's going on? New York in the house. All right. Coach CT out there in Australia. All right. He says, how's Brock Wells traveling, Coach? How's Brock Wells doing? I guess. I've got a few more guys you want to look at over in Australia. All right.
Yeah. We had Brock Wells on our team last year. We have 2 Australians currently on our team this year. We've got one of our best players of all time that we've ever had here. Came from Australia. He's a left-handed pitcher, pitched in the big leagues. It was Josh Spence. Unbelievable. played here, played at Arizona State, pitched in the big leagues for the Padres, and so yes, we've been pretty fortunate over there in Australia. We've got some good players, and I currently have 2 guys on our team right now from Australia.
All right, so there you go, CT. All right, nice of you peek your head, and you know when to peek your head in. That's my guy. He knows I don't see him for but damn near a week or two, but then here you come on now. You wanna, I guess, familiarize himself over here. Like, hey, I got some more guys over here. So, all right. Let me see. I'll post his email again. All right, for parents. I hope you copied and pasted or wrote it down. This is let me go here. Chipper says, what do you do to support cultural awareness in the baseball environment? And is there any diversity training going on over at your program?
Yeah, we have a lot at the school going on right now, just with cultural awareness and those kind of things. Just with our school, we have a lot of trainings and with our administration and our staff and those kind of things. And as far as in our program, we try to have our communication as high as possible. And so I like our guys to speak up. I like to give our guys a voice. We have a really open program as far as just feeling comfortable to speak and those kind of things on any topics, really. And so we have, for example, we have Monday meetings in our clubhouse every Monday, and really anything goes. And so anything that's on the guys' mind, they have a great platform there to speak on, and sometimes it's baseball related, and sometimes it's not. And so, like I said, sometimes those meetings last 5 minutes, and sometimes they last an hour. And so it's just a kind of a life of their own. And so we want to give them a little bit of a platform to have a voice and those kind of things. I think it's important. And so, this day and age, there's so much going on in our country and stuff right now, and it's sad to see. It's just like I said, for us, we have guys from all different backgrounds, different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different countries, but in the end, we're all just playing baseball, right? And we're trying to get better. We're trying to be better people and better students and chase down our goals. So we try to do the best we can. And like I said, I'm fortunate to learn from those guys as much as they're learning from me, for sure.
All right, good answer, Coach. All right, Bubba says, does JC accommodate players with an IEP?
Yeah, we do. So anyone that has any sort of special needs academically, we have an IEP coordinator on our campus. So you get in touch with her. Her name is Cheryl Hernandez, and she alerts all the teachers on whatever the IEP reads, whether it's more time for testing or whatever it may be. And so extensions on homework and those kind of things. So as long as you have a written IEP, you take it to her in our program or in our school, and she'll help get any accommodations that you need and get you comfortable and those kind of things, for sure.
All right. D-Rob asks, do Arizona JUCOs give athletic scholarships?
Yeah, we do. So it's kind of nice. So like in California, they're not allowed to give junior or scholarships. Sorry. In Arizona, we are now. In Arizona, there's 2 different types of junior colleges. There's Division II, which is all the schools in Maricopa County. So like South Mountain, Scottsdale, D, who you talk to, they're Division II. So they can only scholarship in-state kids. Whereas all the outliers in our program, the ones that have the dorms, we can recruit and give scholarship to anybody in the world. And so, because we're a little bit less populated place, and so we don't have the population right around our campus. So we have to recruit a little bit to get people into our town and whatnot. So we're allowed to. All JUCOs are allowed to have 24 players on scholarship. As far as NJCAA, California is different, and the Northwest is different. But the NJCAA, which is the other 47 states, you can have 24 players on scholarship. Now, whether they're on $1 or $1,000, that each counts as one. So that'd be 2 scholarships. Now, each school is a little bit different on how much they allot for those scholarships. Some schools have 24 full rides. Some schools have to make, 24 stretch, but, you know, they have 4 or full rides, you know, they got to be 24 stretch or whatever. And so then anything in between. And so the school kind of dictates the amount of money that you get for those 24, but the NJCA puts that you can have 24 scholarships. And so again, if you're on just $1, that counts. And you have 24 guys signed to a letter of intent. And so, and then each school is a little bit different.
Wow. Okay. Learning something. All right. Danny says we played last weekend in Phoenix and it was 115 degrees. All right, let me put it like let me post it. All right, show you a little love, Danny. We played last weekend in Phoenix and it was 115 degrees. Michael Casillas, 2023, is the big arm from Puebla who hit 86 last weekend. I see you working, Danny. All right, see how he he was talking about his son before. We got another big arm over it, so he's.
I like it. Hey, as a 2023 touching 86, that's pretty good. I like it.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. So
don't worry, Danny. We'll reach out to you. I like it.
All right, let me see here. Jay Meyer asks, what is the out-of-state tuition for your school?
Yeah, so we have 3 different tuition rates at our school. In-state, and then what's called the WUI, which is like all Western United States. So like California, Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, Montana, New Mexico, so Colorado, Nevada, so on. That they get a tuition break, and then everywhere else in the world. And so, for example, like for tuition, dorms, and meals for the entire year at Central, if you're an in-state kid, is like $9,500. That's it. That's for tuition, dorm, meals for the entire year.
Say that again, Coach. I was looking. How much?
It's about $9,500 for tuition, dorms, and meals for the entire year for an Arizona kid. If you're in the WUI, it's about $10,500 for the entire year. And then if you're anywhere else in the world, it's about $12,500 for the entire year. So it goes up just a little bit. But again, that's for full tuition, both semesters, enough to get you to graduate, not enough to just keep you eligible. A lot of people will quote 12 credits because that's what keeps you eligible. Like we want our guys to graduate, so we quote 15 because that's what it takes to graduate. And so 15 credits, dorms both semesters, meal plan the whole way, getting all your meals paid for and those kind of things. And that's the most you could pay. That's without baseball scholarship. That's without financial aid. That's without any other academic scholarships that you may receive and those kind of things. So pretty inexpensive when you, especially just starting where it's at, pretty inexpensive. But then when you start chipping away at it, it's pretty affordable.
All right. Your email is 1L, not 2, right?
Yeah, 1L, correct.
Yeah, that's what I put. So I just copied and pasted it. But Dara Roberts out in Vegas says, hello, Coach D and Coach Anthony. Enjoyed my conversation with Coach Anthony. All right. I don't know if he had a son, Aaron.
Oh yeah, I know Aaron well. Aaron's at Cal right now. Two-way player and man, really good. I think he's coming off an injury right now. Yeah, no, he's a good kid, great family. So yeah, we recruited him hard. Decided to go to Cal, and so yeah, he's got a bright future ahead of him for sure. Yeah,
he's a good kid, man. We had the dad and Aaron on. He was one of the first guests. I want to say early 2019. Yeah, so they keep on. So all right, Danny Casilla says thanks, love. Thanks, Coach, for showing some love. All right, no doubt. Yeah, I want to make sure you get your love and post and. Coach be up there recruiting your son in the next year or two, man. So that's what it's all about here. That's what it's about. So, all right, Coach. So listen, you are a junior college, and rules are different for D1 schools and all of that. So camps or anything, what's going on out there with you guys? Are you hosting anything, or are you? Kind of putting everything on the back burner because of the virus. What's going on with you? Any camps, upcoming camps going on?
Yeah, not this year under the circumstances, just with all the restrictions and stuff going on campus, and just Arizona's trending the right way as far as COVID and everything. So they're trying to really play it safe and just make sure that we don't have any hiccups going into the spring and those kind of things with all our sports. All our sports, even the fall ones, got pushed back to the spring, and so usually we have camps. We usually have a camp in November and in December, Christmas camp as well. The great thing about junior college too, now this year's a little screwy compared to the rest, but just under the circumstances. But usually the great thing about junior college too is you can work out for the teams, whereas like at a 4-year, you have to come to their camp. You have to do those things. For us, like you can just come and practice with us. You have to, sign some waivers, have to do some paperwork and stuff like that. But you can get out there and you can just practice. Hey, you want to be our starting shortstop? Well, why don't you go take ground balls next to our starting shortstop and see where you compare? And so it's kind of nice, and you get to meet some of the guys, and you can see how we run a practice, see how we operate. So it's a good experience for us to see them in the drills and stuff we want to see, but it's also great for them too because they get a hands-on experience of what they might be getting into. But yeah, we usually typically do camps. This year we don't. We usually do a fall league as well, where we have a lot of the local teams. We host a tournament, and so a lot of teams get to come through our campus and those kind of things. But so a lot of that's been put on hold this fall. Hopefully, we get back to some normalcy in the spring, and maybe we can open up some of that stuff again.
All right. Couple more questions, Coach, and I'll get you up out of here. Does your program get a lot of Division I kickbacks?
Yeah. We those are pretty important to our program. The kickbacks are the guys that go to Division I and then for whatever reason leave, whether they want to get drafted or they weren't getting the playing time they wanted, or whatever it is, grades maybe sometimes. Just wasn't the experience that they wanted to do, so they hit the reset button and get back to junior college. But yeah, I'd say we get anywhere from, in the summertime, probably like, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe a few more in the summer from different programs. And then at like Christmas break, I really don't like to bring guys in at Christmas break unless they're going to make a huge impact in our program, just because our guys have put in so much work over the fall. So for them to come in and take somebody's spot, really we'd have to have a need, or it's really going to be like a no-brainer impact guy. And so in the fall or Christmas time, we might bring in 1 or 2, and then in the summer when the season's over, then anywhere from, like I said, 5 to 10 or 12 or so. I think this year we had 8. I think over the summer this summer. So from all over, from a bunch of different programs.
All right. Let me see. We have one. Bubba asks, does Coach Anthony like recruiting football, baseball players, and can they do both there?
We don't have a football team, so you can't do them both at our school. But I like guys that play other sports. I think it just makes you more athletic, and it makes you just more of a competitor. I think different sports bring out different attributes, in players, and so. For sure. I'm a big advocate of guys playing multiple sports and just, training your body in different ways. And so, obviously once you get up to the higher levels, you got to pick one and go for it. But, I'm an advocate of that. Yeah. At our school, we don't have football, luckily. So we're kind of the only ticket in town. And, it's at Central. We have, at Central, we have all the sports are pretty legit, which is pretty cool. So, men's and women's cross country, men's and women's track, softball, men's and women's basketball, baseball. We have a rodeo team actually too. But I think last year, every single sport that I just mentioned, except one, was ranked in the top 10 in the country. Wow. And so there's just a lot of good athletes running around Central. Like I said, the last Olympics, I think there was 12 Olympians that were from Central Arizona. Wow. We had a few WNBA players. They've had we've had, like I said, 21 major league players and so on. And so it's just, there's just like a kind of just a camaraderie around here. A lot of people are going for the same things. Even if you don't play the same sport, you kind of just, as an athlete, you kind of have that respect for each other, and like I said, there's a lot of good athletes running around, and so they push each other, in the different sports too.
Man, that's crazy, man. That is school out there in Central Arizona, pumping out them athletes like that, man. That's dope. So yeah, man. So listen, Coach, man, we going over a little hour, man. I enjoyed and I'm enjoying talking to you, man. But I want you to think of a message, man, before we end. I'm gonna just say my little shout outs and everything. But I want you to think about a message to give to these parents listening in as you take us on out, man. I've learned so much about Central Arizona, man. Great conversation, man. And man, I hope parents see the benefits of junior college, man. Obviously he's I mean, right smack dab before, me being a pro guy myself, knowing the benefits of, being in that location and the athletes that are down there. And so, man, if you have opportunity, man, to play and at least show your video and show some love over there, see, if you can make it happen, man. Great location. Anyway, so think of something, Coach. But parents, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, I will have Coach Jonathan Estes of Freed and Hardman, which is a NAIA program in the outside of the Memphis area, Jackson, Tennessee, where I will be doing my showcase. Speaking of my showcase, Coach, man, we'll talk behind the scenes. If you ain't doing nothing, Saturday, September 26th, I'll be streaming a showcase in Tennessee. Got a bunch of great athletes. We got about maybe 4 or 5 states being represented. So if you're not doing anything on that Saturday, I'll send you the link and maybe pluck some guys out of the Mid-South area. And then so September 26th, the showcase link is there. We have added some dates, man, and we got Orlando location kind of squared away. October 10th, October 17th at ATL. October 24th, we got Dallas. We kind of finalized that, and November 6th, we're going back to the Waco area. All right. So hopefully we get all those dates locked in, loaded. But right now, September 26th is the main one that's ready to go. So, Coach, I gotta say my little plugins, Coach. Thank you for being patient over there. So, if you could take us on out, Coach, man, and man, it's been a pleasure, brother. But if you could, man, take us with a message, man. Take us on out.
Yeah, well, first of all, I certainly appreciate you having me out. What a cool deal you guys you have running and highlighting junior college athletics. I think it's like I said, such an underrated part of baseball in particular, but all athletics. So any opportunity I get a chance to highlight junior college athletics, I'm all for it. So I certainly appreciate you putting me on and having other junior college coaches on as well. And so for us, like I said, we're a passionate group, man. We like to coach our guys. We like to coach our guys hard. We like to have our guys learn. And so for any of the athletes or coaches out there, and encourage your guys to play with some passion. Because if you don't have it, it's too hard. It's too much work, and you're not going to make it. Find another passion to get you excited. And so for us, man, we love to work. We love to get out there. And so, yeah, we're anxious to go recruiting out tomorrow again and get out there and try to find some more players. So, again, really appreciate it. What a cool deal. Wish you had some more Washington listeners, but man, I couldn't even get my own family to call in. Where are they at? Why are they calling in?
Hey, well, do me a favor. All right, so the next time you come on, all right, when you go out there and win another national championship, and my boy Tony Miranda, he may be, but anyway, he's in California, so they got their own thing. So when you win another national championship, all right, I'll put you back on here, all right. So, but right now you got to go and share it to your social media, share this interview and all of that. So hopefully we get some of the hometown, the Washington guys to start liking D Brown's page, and so they be waiting for you when you come back on after you win the national championship again. Is that cool?
Hey, you don't got to talk me into winning another one. That's it. I'm all for it, man. We're in. So yes. The link. Send me the link, and we'll post it on our end on our school site and get your name out there as well. That'd be great.
All right, no doubt. I'll do that, man. I'll do that, and I will email that to you. And I appreciate it so much, Coach, for coming on, man, and learning about Central Arizona, man. I was happy. When you signed up, I was happy because it's about 5 to 10 junior colleges that I always hear the names of. You know what I'm saying? And your name, your school. So that's a testament to your program and what you're doing over there. Your name always pops up. So I was excited when you signed up, and look forward to building that relationship, getting you some players, and hopefully off of here and my relationships and that I've built all over the country with some kids and your needs and stuff. We'll talk behind the scenes and find out things like that. But listen, again, I appreciate it. The email will be posted in the comment section. So if you have a talented young athlete, all right, that has interest in going to junior college route, which again, like I said, I mean, everybody dreams of the big schools. Everybody, Central Arizona is not sexy, right? But when you win a national championship and you just told you 21 major leaguers and 6-7 guys get drafted every year, you know what I'm saying? And the countless guys go D1 with that. All right. So if you want to play pro, you want to have dreams of playing pro, you're getting a head start. All right. So listen, set your pictures, man. Gosh, your numbers are going to be good. But but anyway, look into Central Arizona. Reach out to Coach, man. So appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, Coach Gilich. Thank you so much, man, for coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, parents, 4 p.m. tomorrow. All right, we're keeping this ball rolling. See you guys 4 p.m. Eastern sharp. Peace out. Love you guys.